but most of all, talk to the wife and come to an agreement.
I like that idea. I actually don't see the big deal. Maybe that's because I'm a single parent.
So you think the wife is wrong?
I wouldn't say wrong. I just feel like she should not be so upset about it and be grateful. Like, the parents want to help. Awesome. Thank you for the help. I really appreciate that. We're family. This family sticks together. If you need help fixing something up, here you go. We have it. We want to give it to you. Like, what's the problem here?
I'm curious on whether or not she would feel uncomfortable if it was her parents.
See?
You know, it might be the issue that it's his parents and not hers. That's what I think. I think
Yeah,
because he's
different.
okay with it because it's his parents. Hey, I know my parents. It's my
Yeah.
mom and dad. Of course, they do things for me. I grew up that way. So I think if it was her parents, I think maybe she might be singing a different song.
So just be grateful. Maybe she doesn't want to be seen as someone that's taking advantage.
Or she's afraid, and this might be the
Strings
case,
attached.
maybe there's strings attached.
That
Maybe
is the
she's
scary thing about taking money from family. We got some interesting phone calls today. We always love hearing from you. So I would love for you to comment. Let us know what you would do in this situation, what advice you would give in this situation. Here at The Fish, we're all about supporting families, supporting marriages, having healthy relationships. We got some interesting calls. Let me see if we can play one of these. I think this was Sarah. Here's Sarah. She's been in a situation like this with her ex.
His mom kept sending us money, and I wasn't really sure why until one day I heard him calling her, asking her for money because he didn't have any. And I was confused because I hadn't been aware that he was having issues with money. I ended up finding out from her that he had been spending his money out on takeout food and asking her for extra finances instead of discussing it with me.
Wow.
Yes.
So how did you handle it? Okay, so that's how that went down. Oh, wait, she said...
I ended up expressing to him that, I felt uncomfortable with it. His mother was an amazing woman, absolutely loved her, but that I was uncomfortable with that situation.
There you go.
Wow. So he's asking mom for McDonald's money so he can
Yes.
go out and buy his Happy Meals.
Well, I think he was using all his money on that, and he was asking mom for help with the other things that he needed because he spent the rest of his money on a lot of food.
Well, to
think
me,
you were
I'm
young.
sorry. That's pretty
Yeah.
pathetic.
Yeah.
That
Oh.
you're out there buying fast food. And by the way, how rude is that? You're out getting Chick-fil-A In and Out, and your wife's at home making dinner or whatnot. And
Maybe he was getting it for her. Yeah.
No, it doesn't sound like
But I
it.
think the key phrase that she said is she was uncomfortable. And that goes back to what you were saying, that if your spouse is uncomfortable
Right.
with something that you're doing,
Sure.
it doesn't matter if you agree or not, but if you're making them uncomfortable, that you should stop doing that
Absolutely.
out of love.
Right.
So that's the key lesson
I think
we
so.
can learn her.
And it goes the other way too.
Right,
You know,
right.
if she's doing something that he's uncomfortable with.
Yeah.
You know, because that uncomfortability leads to stress, and then it leads to bitterness and
Lack of trust.
Right, exactly. And then that's how it starts. And then the relationship, she has an issue.
Yeah.
And you can't let it sit there and linger. It needs to be addressed. And I'm glad she asked the question. And this is our advice. Obviously, you have to discuss it. And just coming from a man's perspective, man to man, buddy, I think you need to step up, and your priority is to take care of your wife. That is your priority. And this bozo who's getting fast food, I mean, come on, dude. What is your deal? Like, step up. Holy cow.
Okay,
You're causing stress to your wife because you need to go get your supersize or whatever at McDonald's.
Well, let's just say she did say that marriage didn't work. They're not married.
Well, there you go.
Anymore.
See, prevent stuff like that from happening.
That just goes to show, don't hide that stuff. So
Right.
I really loved what Julie had to say today. She had fantastic advice. Like there was a moment during our phone call that I was like, oh, that's exactly what we should do in our relationships. You got to hear this. This is Julie.
I think really depend on intent. So if his parents are gifting the money and it's because they're in a position to do it, that's their particular love language is giving gifts, that may be the only way they're clearly communicating, no, really, I care about you and I want to do something nice. So he's not really necessarily in the wrong spending that money. However, if his wife is uncomfortable, then that means that there's now an issue in the communication of Team Us, the married couple. And they really need to take some time and talk that one out together and come up with some fair ground rules. Because when it's all said and done, it's who you have standing next to you every single day, shoulder to shoulder, in all of life's battles, whether it's pulling weeds or mending broken hearts or trying to save things when a pandemic hits.
That right there is what I loved. Team us. And what really matters is shoulders to shoulder next to each other, doing all those things and being on the same team. I loved that.
Yeah.
I thought that was fantastic. That's life goals right there.
Yeah. Way to go, Julie. And I think Julie is also a substitute teacher. So way to go. I mean, that's the kind of teacher you want in the classroom with your kids. Is someone that's sage like that, that's got some good wisdom.
Like, Julie, can we please set a coffee date? Because I would really like to hang out with you. It sounds like a wonderful person to have in your life that can give you such great advice. We're really thankful for you watching our lives and being a part. We love it when you call the show, and you always provide a really fresh perspective that helps so many people. That's what we're here for.
Absolutely.
Just to try to make all our lives better, right?
It's going to be a great weekend.
Yeah.
Amanda today was saying, I was saying today is weekend eve. She was saying Friday is weekend eve. I consider most of Friday the weekend. Like, for me, Friday starts when we're done with the show.
Yes.
When I can, like, that's when the weekend starts. So for me right now, it's like weekend eve.
Because we work really early because we're weird.
Yeah.
Speaking of weird, do you think you're normal?
I hope not.
I
don't think
okay
anybody
with
that knows me would ever say that. I don't think I know one person that would say, yeah, Matthew's normal. Maybe not even my mom.
There's a new survey that's talking about what most people think, if they are normal or not normal, and men and women had total different responses to that. So that's going to be what we talk about for Friday Eve, as you like to call it.
No, weekend eve.
Weekend Eve.
Weekend Eve.
Weekend Eve tomorrow. We're going to talk about, are you normal? Do you feel normal? If not, why? Also, oh my goodness, this amazing story about a Sacramento teenager that has terminal cancer, and she is working with the Make-A-Wish Foundation to help other kids get wishes.
She is an amazing person. Just knows what life is all about. She's awesome. Hey, and then I'm going to be judging a Pinewood Derby race tomorrow up in Forest Hill. They sent me a kit to make a Pinewood Derby for racing or for judging and all that. And we worked on it yesterday, and it's a disaster. I need some help on what to do.
Will you post some pictures on Facebook and Instagram?
I honestly think I might be too embarrassed to post a picture of it. It's my son. After I was done with it, my son was outside playing. He runs up to me and my wife, and he looks at it. He says, "What's that?"
Oh no!
And my wife was like, "Exactly."
Well, you see, you made one just for fun. I mean, you can't put, if you're the judge, you can't have your own car in the
No, they have like a
competition.
judges section of all the judges who will display their cards.
So who's
cars.
judging the judges?
I think maybe the kids.
Oh.
And you would think, the judges, oh my gosh, they're going to be the best.
Well, but you can't outshine the kids.
But like, what kind? If I display my lousy car, I'm going to be questioned on whether or not I'm a qualified judge, right? Like, what does this guy know?
Right.
How come he's a judge? He can't even make a decent.
Sometimes your imperfections are good. I'm going to share the worst interview question I've ever asked.
Just one of them?
Artist. Yeah, I had this interview with Riley Clemens, a new artist, and I did some research. It turns out my research that I did about her gave me the wrong information, or I just took it the wrong way. And I'm going to share her response to the worst question I've ever asked an artist in an interview. You know,
I'm excited for that.
Oh,
That'll be fun.
It's kind of funny.
I always look
funny.
forward to opportunities where I can laugh at Amanda, and it brings me pleasure.
It's real life. I mean, she was amazing how she responded to it. That's why I wanted to share. It's just not your average interview.
Amanda sometimes gets nervous when she interviews celebrities.
I do.
Do you?
I do get it. I want to do such a good job. Ironically, I over prepare. You know how you over prepare for like a job interview or a test, and then you don't do as well. Like if I had just probably gone in and just had a normal conversation with her,
probably would have been a better interview.
It would have been better.
Yeah,
it would have
I'm
been
like
better.
that.
Yeah.
Like when I do, that's how you and I are different. When I get an interview, I don't prepare at all.
Yeah.
I just go in there and wing it.
I
Like,
know.
what were we supposed to talk about? And then by the end of the interview, I have asked 0 of the questions that I was supposed to. We haven't talked about what they are promoting. So they leave the call and they're like, well, that was terrible. I didn't even get to promote my album or my movie or my book or anything.
I know.
But we had fun.
This is why I don't do interviews with you, but I should. So
We can balance each other out. Yeah.
I know. Well, thank you so much for being a part of the Fish family in Sacramento, for watching our videos. We love you so much. We appreciate you so much. Thank you. And please share a show with your friends now that we're getting back to life. We promise every single morning as you're taking kids to school, as you're going back to work, that we will feed your soul and make your day better. Anything else, Matt? We
That's
good to
it.
go?
Thanks,
All right.
guys. Have a great Thursday.